And I miss oxygen. Oxygen would be really nice right now. I'm curious, what's the...
What are you talking about? Oxygen is a key part in creating smoke. There's plenty of oxygen out there.
It feels like it's been used up. So let's see, what does it say? We're still over 500, so we're still off the charts.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf, with barely any air to breathe.
Oh yeah, them Canadians. I know it's not the Canadian people's fault, but...
You know, suppose they say that Canadians are very friendly and polite towards one another, but I have to question that because this is the third year in a row I am having to deal with your smoke problems.
No, it might be the fourth actually, because I remember back before I had my driver's license when my grandmother was coming to pick me up, us talking about the smoke from the Canadian wildfires because they came all the way down to where I live. So that was before I had my license. So.
It might have missed me then. Because I only remember this being a problem for the past 3 years.
Yeah, but I think there was another one of these years in the past 3 years that it came down here where I am too. It's not down here this time, but...
Yeah, if I take a look at the air quality index for here in Houghton, let's see, what is it at? Oof. We are off the scale right now. I'm not even joking.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. It's just pegged at 500, so I have a feeling it's above that. Hazardous. So, yeah, breathing is not a fun thing to do here at the moment. So, and what sucks is whenever this happens, of course, this is when Walmart goes out of stock on air purifiers.
Are you and your family going to take a vacation down further south? This weekend?
We have no money, so no, we can't.
Darn it.
That, and we already had planned a vacation for the last week of July, so it's oh yeah, that's probably been ruined at this point because it's still on the path of where all of this smoke is going.
Yeah, that's why you gotta come down south. But getting back on topic to what we actually talk about. So, Alpha won the bet that we made a few months ago about the Tesla Model S and X being discontinued. I predicted that they were going to bring him back, revert pretty quickly, and Alpha said no. And I agreed that I would be shirtless if Alpha won. And what were you? And Alpha was gonna not be wearing pants. I guess.
Yeah. The bet was if Tesla. If Tesla backtracked on their plans to cancel the Model S, and they gave us a timeline. They said at the end of Q2, which was end of June, the deal was at the end of June, if Tesla doesn't backtrack on canceling the Model S, then Teddy would go shirtless. But if they did backtrack and they decided, nope, we're going to keep the Model S going, then I would not be wearing pants right now.
I apologize for forgetting this last week, but just last week we were coming back after 2 weeks.
Yeah, honestly, we both completely forgot about it.
But as you can tell, there's no shirt.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I'm wearing a jacket because this is censored for your own safety. You all don't need to see this.
Oh.
I did almost go shirtless totally just because this jacket is really uncomfortable. Because for reference, I'm recording this in July in the southeastern United States.
What's the temperature in your area right now?
86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh gosh.
I have the fan going in my ceiling.
I noticed that fan is usually never
Here's
still.
my shirt.
Yep.
And I don't even usually wear long sleeves even in the winter time unless I'm wearing a jacket or something, which I usually take off as soon as I get inside because don't like the way the long sleeves feel. Like, it's just like I feel like I want to roll them up, but it kind of hurts to roll them up because then they get stiff. So I'm settling with this, I guess. But yeah, I'm shirtless. So Alpha, congratulations for winning.
Honestly, I kind of hoped it would go the other way, not because I didn't want to wear pants, but because I still want the Model S and X to continue.
Oh, I don't care necessarily about the X, but I do care about the S. So yeah,
I love the Model X. To me, it's just I love quirky cars, and that was quirky.
I get that, but I mean, yeah, that's what. Hopefully, Apple won't release those dumb IR camera AirPods.
Oh yeah,
because I don't know if I don't really want to spend the money to have to upgrade the RAM and SSD. Put an SSD in my 2008 iMac.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I'm sure, and I don't know if it would be. So I'm really hoping that rumor turns out false, because I really do not want to record an episode on the 08 iMac.
Yeah. I'm currently having OBS problems with my iMac, so yeah. So
but to show,
nonetheless,
shall we get on to our actual topics, because we have a grand total of 30.
We have that many?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, jeez.
I don't think we're going to be able to get through all of them, but yeah, we have a lot. So
I did not realize we had that many topics today. All right. Yeah, let's get on it.
Next week we'll probably have nothing to talk about, but iOS 27 public beta has released. Yeah.
If only I did public betas, but I don't.
Yes. Yeah, I don't. Even back when I installed iOS 14 beta on my... Hang on, let me grab it. This is why I'm wearing a jacket.
Yep.
My iPhone 8 Plus, back when I installed betas on this, I did the developer beta, as you can clear. Well, actually, I made in my old videos about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, there was a time when I was updating my main phone on beta iOS, because yeah. Right, that was the only supported phone I had at that point, because my next newest iPhone was a 5S.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, it would be funny if the beta software is more stable than the previous version, because it's just
Probably more stable than iOS 18.
I mean, that was the point. That's the point of iOS 27. It's to bring stability back to iOS.
Exactly, but shall we get into our next topic? That'll probably be quite a topic to talk about.
Yeah, this was interesting. I saw Sam Tucker's video on this.
So, Apple's suing OpenAI in federal court for stealing trade secrets.
I wonder how many other companies are going to sue OpenAI for the same thing. Because, I mean, a lot of these AI companies, they are known for being thieves. They don't respect copyright, and so I wouldn't be shocked if OpenAI was trying to steal trade secrets for something. I don't know if this is a legitimate case or not, if I'm being honest, but there's some plausibility there at least.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are also pointing out how Elon Musk tweeted back in June of 2024 that if Apple integrates OpenAI at the OS level, then Apple devices will be banned at my companies because that's an unacceptable security violation. So I mean I mean Apple's not that great with privacy. That's one way to put it. But I mean at the same time like we should have expected that OpenAI was stealing trade secrets. I mean they steal trade secrets. They've known for doing this. Why should we be shocked? And they apparently poached Apple's top engineers as well. Like
somehow they got a former Apple designer working with them.
Yeah. they got more too that bait that some even took parts with like there was one guy that even took parts with him to from Apple to OpenAI to show for the AI stuff, which reminds me of a certain Johnny Cash song, except he's not even using it for personal gain.
So
You do know the Johnny Cash song "One Piece at a Time," right?
that he sung what?
One Piece at a Time. You do know that song?
I think I did at one point, but I don't remember now.
All right. Well, if you all don't know that song, listen to it. It's very good. But aside the point, let me look up the exact executives name. Apple suing OpenAI. So I'm trying to figure out like what the exact. It's from Wired, so it. Well, it's of course it's paid. Okay, let me see if I can go to Reader. Oh no, that won't do anything. Okay, but I can't see like the executives' names. But let me look it up. Executive at OpenAI poached. I mean, to be fair, Apple poached executives from Massimo too to steal their.
No, yeah.
Oh, it was the Vision Pro executive, Paul Mead.
The Vision
Tang
Pro
Ton,
executive.
Yes.
Oh, like that project's gonna go anywhere, just like how Vision Pro's gone somewhere.
Yeah, open. But shall I move on to our next topic? I mean, other than that, I hope Apple wins this.
Yeah, I I really hope OpenAI loses this because they're just a horrible company. But yeah, next
If
up.
this, my dad. Actually, no. I have one more thing to say that I forgot, which is that my dad and I were talking about this lawsuit, and my dad says that he thinks that if OpenAI winds up getting this lawsuit thrown at them, or when they do, that might be enough to bankrupt the company.
I would hope. I mean, they lost how many billions of dollars on the whole Sora thing, and we know they're just burning cash left and right. And despite all of this investment that's been poured into them, it's a circle of money, which means money is technically going nowhere. So I'm not entirely sure how that's working. But
even Cold Fusion just did a video recently exposing the circle of money.
yeah, I mean, I've known about it for a while, thanks to Gamers
Same.
Nexus. But it was nice that Cold Fusion made a video. I was worried that he would be a little too excited about the AI development and I don't know, just brush off the criticism.
He's been following this for a long time.
Yeah, and
like that's how I'm pretty sure I first heard about AI from Cold Fusion.
yeah, I was nervous about how he was going to handle this whole thing because he's always seemed to have an optimistic take on it, no matter what. But no, a lot of his recent videos, especially, I am so grateful that they're the number one key thing that I want people to be when they're making documentaries about this type of stuff. I want them to be realistic. And so far, he's been very much realistic about the whole AI situation.
Exactly. Like I remember one analogy he used in his videos about how sure AI was developing at a fast rate at first, but it's like the equivalent of saying, okay, now my little baby Alpha was crawling in 6 months, and then he was walking by a year. So that means in another year he'll be flying. But that's not correct, because unfortunately humans can't fly without an airplane. Or it's like, or even equate it to building a stairway to heaven, because the problem is the length of the ladder.
Yeah, I've been impressed at how realistic cold fusion has been. Unlike someone else who, I guess, is on your not so favorite listing at this point. Somebody else tried to make a video explaining the corruption, and while the main points were made, the execution of said main points is a bit questionable.
Was it Sam Tucker?
No, the initials are LM. Known for making a lot of Mac content. Wow, that's really not ringing a bell for you. Luke Miani?
I don't watch him anymore. I am subscribed to his channel in case you forgot.
Yeah. I'm not subscribed to him and he still
Luke
pops up in my feed.
Yeah, same. I didn't even see. Of course, Luke Miani's view is unrealistic, or it's poorly executed.
I mean, he hit some solid points. I'll give him that, but he was a bit dismissive on certain details of said points.
Because I have a video idea for tomorrow. Maybe I should react to that video. You know, start a full series on a channel of reacting to Luke Miani's videos.
Yeah. Now, I'd say I still disagree with the idea that he's been paid to talk about this stuff.
I don't think he was paid. He definitely wasn't paid to talk about the AI stuff.
Because, I mean,
I never said that.
Everyone has been frustrated with all that. I mean, but no, he's forgetting a few details that it kind of changes your perspective about the whole thing.
Exactly, but shall we move on to our next topic for real now?
Yeah, so, oh, this is real interesting.
So Apple is increasing the spend with Broadcom to produce billions more chips in Fort Collins, Colorado.
And I knew about Fort Collins, Colorado for something completely different, but...
Oh, was that where the Kia dealership was great? That was where that Kia dealership gave that really cheap lease on their EV?
Yeah, actually, that is true. That is where the Kia... That Fort Collins Kia, that was the dealership doing incredibly cheap leases on their EVs, be it EV6s or EV9s.
My hands are sweaty.
I bet. So I mean that's where out of spec used to reside. That's what it was. Yeah, they used to operate out in Fort Collins, Colorado. So I knew them.
Didn't they move out to North Carolina?
Yeah, they've been back in North Carolina for about a year at this point. They celebrated. They basically did it end of June, early July. And so, yeah, they've been officially back in North Carolina for a year at this point.
Were they initially from North Carolina?
Yes. Kyle started the company out in a combination of two places. Raleigh, where he lived, and Roanoke Rapids, where the out-of-spec track is. Or, I guess, what more people would know better as NC CAR, North Carolina Center of Automotive Research. But that's where the out-of-spec track is. So that's where he had initially started the out-of-spec. And yes, he legitimately had a 2-hour commute every day to go make videos. He was commuting back and forth between Raleigh and Roanoke Rapids. So... but that was where out-of-spec had initially started. And then at some point into the... I think I was either mid-2020 or late 2020, he and his girlfriend moved the team, what was it was a very small team at the time, but they moved out of spec all the way out to Fort Collins, Colorado, and that's where they really built up the company. Where, okay, we got more than just out of spec motor. We now have out of spec reviews, out of spec detailing, out of spec guide, out of spec podcast, which is now out of spec bits. What else do we have? Out of spec scoots. There are so many channels that I can't keep track of. But that's where he really grew out the network, and that's when he really got his EV testing in. He did his 70-mile-an-hour range tests between Fort Collins all the way out to Nebraska. He did 10% challenges around Denver's bypass loop. He's done ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems testing out in the Rocky Mountains. As cool as that was. Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore, which I don't know. I'm surprised. Given how much he's been praising FSD, I'm kind of shocked that he doesn't have a replacement for the Hogback yet. But yeah, he's done so much EV testing out there. And then when I first discovered him, it was his Race to Vegas series. It was a race from their office in Fort Collins, Colorado, all the way to Las Vegas in electric vehicles. And to me, it was absolutely fascinating. They've done 4 of these so far. I hope they do another one again at some point. But yeah, the reason why I knew about Fort Collins was because that was the old home of Out of Spec. Well, I guess, yeah, they originally came from North Carolina out to Colorado, and it was just last year they decided to move back to North Carolina. So,
did they reveal where's, like, are they living towards Roanoke Rapids now or in Raleigh?
Well, the company's business address is back at NC Car in Roanoke Rapids. So they're back at the out of spec track. And Kyle's current commute is, I think he says it's like 45 minutes to a ranch somewhere south of there, I think. So it's not in Raleigh, but I don't remember where he said the ranch was, but I don't know. One of these days when I have an electric car, I'd love to go visit the out of spec track. It is open to visitors, at least he claims so. But gotta get an electric car first. So, but yeah, that's how.
Getting back on topic.
Yeah, getting back on topic. I never really thought of Fort Collins being in the electronics manufacturing. I just didn't think of that. I knew of Fort Collins holding, being the home of CSU, Colorado State University. So, and based off of what I've seen in terms of electric car incentives and all of that, Fort Collins, despite that Fort Collins Kia was amazing, the city itself was actually not particularly great in terms of accelerating electric car ownership, because the fastest DC charger the city has legally allowed is literally 50 kilowatts. You would think, being CSU, with a lot of CSU, a university in a liberal state, you'd think they'd have a lot of EVs there, which they do. But the city itself, strangely enough, has weird restrictions on charging availability. That's why you'd think there'd be a supercharger there. There's no Tesla supercharger there. There's no Electrify America station there. There's no, I think there's a charge point, but it's not a high-powered charge point. No, yeah, the highest power station you can visit in Fort Collins is 50 kilowatts, and that's because of some city ordinance stupidity. But I'm surprised that I guess they're getting into the electronic space, because I thought that the general town was just a college town.
I don't know, but yeah, it'll be cool to see at least some more manufacturing coming in. The only caveat is that I wonder if they'll be able to keep their yield up if it snows, because that's a problem a lot of factories in the northeastern United States had, which is why I shut down.
Well, Fort Collins is not in the Rocky Mountains. It's on the border.
I know it's not in it, but I know it's close to it. But okay, might be able. I mean, there's still some snow up there, but huh?
I don't think it'll be that big of a problem, because as far as from what I've learned during Kyle's stay there, Coloradians do a fairly good job at preparing for winter, especially if they ever plan to go in the Rockies, which, I mean, if you live in Colorado near the Denver area, then of course you go visit the Rockies. So when they do get snowstorms, Coloradians are generally fairly prepared for it. And even then, the snow doesn't stay long, unlike here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Once it snows, it takes forever to get it out of here. Versus Colorado, yeah, you'll get those few days where it gets so cold, like even below zero cold, and you'll get a lot of snow rapidly. But from what I've seen, it just doesn't really stay all that long, unless you're actually in the Rocky Mountains.
That makes more sense, because I mean, Colorado's still I mean, they technically do touch a southern state. Actually, a couple of them technically.
Let me see. Colorado borders
New Mexico and Oklahoma.
I don't think Oklahoma touches, does it?
No, it does. Like the
Oh, it must
like
be
the
really.
very
It must be really
like,
close then.
the very southeast part of Colorado touches the very northwest part of Oklahoma, and it's actually there's a point in Colorado on if you take US 287 down, it's only like one, I think it's like one county or something. It's not very long until you get to Texas.
Interesting.
And of course, Colorado technically borders Arizona at the Four Corners.
Yep. So yeah, it borders those states. It also borders Utah, Wyoming, Kansas, and Nebraska.
So it's not as far north as like Michigan, which borders Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean
Indiana, Ohio, and that's it.
I mean, despite that, I-70 compared to I-70 is still probably considered mostly northern to you.
Yeah. I mean, it touches West Virginia, so it's not all northern, but
Mostly, though. Because, I mean, does it touch Kentucky? I don't think it touches Kentucky.
no, 70 doesn't go anywhere near... 70 does not go into Kentucky. The northernmost narrow state that goes into Kentucky is 64.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, despite that, I-70 is fairly north on the eastern hemisphere. It actually dips fairly south the further west you go.
Yeah, it does kind of dip a little bit south. No, still not what we consider south. I mean, it does. Yeah, it really... yeah, it really does start... Once it gets west of... Oh, right, I-70, once it gets east of St. Louis, then it really starts climbing north.
Mm-hmm. So... Oh, and I forgot to mention, Coloradians, in the state of Colorado, it is legal to run studded winter tires.
What are those?
I'm
a stubborn boy, so I don't know what those are.
Fair enough, yeah. Studded winter tires are tires with a winter tread pattern plus metal studs that stick out of them.
Yeah, I can see why most states don't allow those.
Yeah, there's a reason why most states don't allow them. But Colorado, to my surprise, actually does. It is legal to run studded tires in the state of Colorado.
Huh. Well, because we have a grand total of 25 topics left, and it's...
Yep, we got a lot to get through, so...
I think we should just go ahead and say that it's good that Apple's doing this, but moving on to our next topic, there's scammers out there are imitating the victim's dad by claiming that he got a new number. Bank transactions, the dad's claiming that bank transactions are blocked, and that the victim must wire money with a promise of payback that's never fulfilled, obviously.
Well, they're not going to succeed with me because I've got no money. So... Yep.
Yeah,
don't we love AI? Don't we love what AI has enabled these horrible people to do?
Yeah, we'll remember that. Yeah, I'll remember that. But guys, your dad probably doesn't. Your dad. No, actually, my dad does have issues with his bank accounts getting locked out of them. But your dad probably doesn't need you to pay him back money.
No.
Especially in Bitcoin.
What a joke.
But
next up.
Moving. Claude for teachers. So it's free access to premium Claude capabilities for verified K-12 educators.
I saw this advertisement. Oh.
So, because a lot of teachers like to use AI now...
Not.
As a result... No, actually, some of the teachers at my school like using AI.
My mom despises it.
Yeah. Yeah, your mom's good, because my school district allows teachers to use AI. Yes. So naturally, because a lot of these teachers don't... A lot of K-12 educators do not understand what AI actually is, they're going to naturally take advantage of this and use it. Which means that they're going to generate all the assignments of AI, which teachers, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this if you're tuning into this episode. If you generate your assignments of AI, then you don't deserve to have your students turn in actual work.
Yes, you're setting them up for failure.
AI. You can't complain about students using AI if you use AI, but
teachers that do, I'd argue, are just setting their students up for failure.
Exactly, and I have another topic that I misplaced that I thought would be that I think now would be a great one to go hand in hand. But Netflix disclosed that generative AI was used at some point in producing roughly 300 TV shows. This is a very expensive service, mind you.
Would their Little House on the Prairie series be one of them?
Netflix? They did one of those? They did like a reboot of that?
Yeah, Netflix decided to make their own version of the Little House on the Prairie series, and it is really not accurate to the actual... But keep in mind, the Little House on the Prairie, all of that, that's a true story.
I know. I read on the... I actually... This is sort of unrelated, but back in 2018, I remember checking out On the Blank Banks of Plum Creek which is in that series.
My mom and sister just finished that book.
Your littlest sister?
Yeah. No, yeah, my mom's been reading my littlest sister Little House on that whole series.
So So I remember checking out On the Blanks of Plum Creek just because it looked appealing in my library. And so this is back at the end of third grade. And I remember it was towards the end of the school year. It was like in April, probably May 2018 if I had to guess. And I remember going up. I remember because I was in the middle of reading it and I found it fascinating. So I asked my And I even asked my teacher if I could get an extension on the, if there was any way I could possibly finish up the book, because I knew, like, for reference, at my elementary school we had like a different rated art every day of the week. So we had like computer lab, library, gym, art, and music. And the next day was going to be library day, and I knew that I was going to have to take it back, and I knew it was going to be the last one. But the librarian actually gave me an extension, so I was able to get in, because it was towards the end, so it was the end of the library day. But I remember reading that one. I also read another one from like from Laura Ingalls Wilder's like Adult Life. I read part of that when I was at the beginning of 4th grade. Never finished that one though, but don't. And then I remember back in early 2022, I read Little House in the Big Woods, because that was my 7th grade English class. Because that was when I was homeschooled, we had to do like we had to like read a book of our own to analyze. So I chose a book from my mom's bookshelf, and I chose Little House in the Big Woods. So those are, and I have also seen like maybe one episode like TV series, like the old TV series.
No, we have the DVDs of the old Little House on the Prairie series.
But I'm guessing, how is the Netflix series inaccurate, especially like if you...
The one detail I've heard, I haven't watched it, but my mom and my sister have, and the number one detail that stands out so far is, at least based up in reality, what happened, Laura was not the best behaved. I'm not saying she was completely misbehaved, but comparing Laura to Mary, Laura was less behaved compared to Mary.
I think I remember something about that.
Yeah. So Laura was a little less behaved than Mary was. But in the Netflix, the new show that came on, it's flipped.
I think I remember something about that being a massive... I think I remember being that being a key point in this. Again, I think on the banks of Plum Creek and then on Little House in the Big Woods, like I think they do take place in vastly different areas of her life. Or different parts.
Oh, they moved around a bunch. Like Big Woods, they were living in the big woods of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
At some point, they had moved out to Minnesota, to Kansas, to Iowa. They've been all over.
I don't know where on the banks of Plum Creek took place. I knew
Plum Creek.
Let me look up where that is.
I think it's in Iowa. It's either Iowa or Kansas. I think it's Iowa.
I think that.
Because I'm trying to think. At some point, Mankato was mentioned on the Little House on the Prairie series. Mankato's in Minnesota, but they were not living in Minnesota. So I think Plum Creek was in Iowa.
Have you read the entire series?
I have not. I've heard bits and pieces of it here and there. I have read all of Little House in the Big Woods, so I know those stories.
I don't even know if I read them in chronological order correctly.
I don't know either. Well, you said you started with On the Banks of Plum Creek.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that you already have not read them in chronological order, because Big Woods was first. Yep.
That's right, because she was like real, and I think she was like around my age at that point. Like I think she was like more like 10 or 11. And On the Banks of Plum Creek.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, should we get back on topic?
Yeah. So Netflix using AI to generate your TV shows is not cool.
Nope. Definitely not. Which is why I stopped watching Netflix a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't really watch it anymore either, except for when my mom does. So I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'd not be surprised if it was used to make that Little House in the Prairie show, but Also, I don't know why it needed a reboot to begin with, but shall I move on to Samsung now? Because we have three to Samsung topics, actually.
Yeah, let's rapid fire them.
So Samsung overtook Nvidia as the world's most profitable firm.
Uh-oh, is Nvidia
Yes.
slipping? Is this AI bubble thing not working out for them too well anymore?
I think it's because I think that's actually because of the AI thing that Samsung's managing profit so much because they make RAM, of course.
True.
SSD,
Honestly,
so-
that could be it. Because even Nvidia has to buy memory from them.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, this is starting to look interesting for Nvidia.
Yeah, because Nvidia designs graphics. Yeah, Nvidia handles GPUs, but GPUs need memory, and Nvidia doesn't handle that aspect of. They just focus on the actual processing cores of the GPU. So, yeah, that means Nvidia even has to pay out to Samsung. So, yeah, I'm not shocked that Samsung's making bank on this whole situation, and we have yet to see how this lawsuit is going to pan out against the DRAM cartel, and I guess now we have a hard drive cartel as well.
Oh yes, the hard drive cartel has been going on for over 20 years. So
Yeah.
but that's something for later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I guess it turns out Samsung had their Unpacked event. I thought they typically hold that in
they're
August.
having it. Also too, but it's on July 22nd.
Seems a bit early. Let me guess, it's just going to be more AI crap.
Probably. Now they're the world's most valuable company, probably. But now our next topic. Shall I move on to our next topic?
Yeah, the Galaxy S26 FE, aka Fan Edition,
Is $700. It seems like an okay phone, I guess.
I mean, that's kind of how the FE series has always been, though I really don't understand why you'd call that lineup the Fan Edition, because you think the
I don't get that either.
Samsung loyalist fans would be buying the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Plus Ultras, that kind of stuff.
I know. I think it's the Z Fold 7 now. Well, soon to be Z Fold 8. But yeah, no, you're right on that. I never got that marketing either. But I guess maybe they're referring to like fans who can't afford the full thing. But I don't know though. But shall I move on to the Pixel?
Let's see. Pixel 11 and Watch 5 event is supposed to be held on the 20th of August.
Yep.
I'm surprised the Pixel Watch series has actually lasted as long as it has.
I'm surprised because I've never seen anyone with a Pixel Watch out in the wild.
Neither have I, and I just don't see anything all that appealing about it.
Neither do I, but so Pixel 11. I mean, I see a few Google Pixel phones out in the wild, but
I see a bunch.
I've never seen that many Pixels in the wild. I see more now than I used to, but
Yeah,
I think
the top Android phone that I see that is not Samsung, because Samsung is still the top up here. If it's not a Samsung Android, then it's a Pixel.
the most common Android phone I see is, I think, it might be one of those budget Samsungs, or else I don't really see that many Androids where I am anymore. Or else maybe I honestly don't pay quite as much attention as I used to, but I don't. And also, all Android phones look so similar to each other that it's kind of hard to tell them apart.
Yeah, that's a common problem a lot of them have these days.
But I mean, most of the time, it's just Samsung budget phones I see. Occasionally, I'll see a Pixel, but I think the first Pixel I saw was one of my friend's dad's back in early 2019. But Hopefully the Pixel 11 will be okay. Hopefully it'll finally fix the Pixel rip-off problem when they're ripping off Apple. But shall we move on to China now?
All right, what's going on with China? So Chinese made
So
poor
the Chinese
performing YMTC. More companies, I just don't know. The Chinese made poor performing YMTC SSD tested in Lenovo laptop for the first time. Oh dear.
So yes, the Chinese have made a poor performing YMTC SSD that they're testing in a Lenovo laptop for the first time because the Chinese are trying to be a solution to the Rampocalypse, which that's a little bit scary, I think.
And yet it seems like honestly every other market except the US might be the only one to benefit from this. Because the US hates China a lot right now.
I mean, Korea and Japan probably aren't going to allow either because they hate China. South Korea and Japan, excuse me, they're probably not going to allow either because they hate China even more than we do.
And in terms of North Korea, nobody's going to buy it anyways because the people there are too poor to afford anything.
Yeah. Taiwan, I definitely don't see Taiwan allowing the Chinese
I don't
SSDs.
think so. I mean, if you live in Taiwan, I don't even think the average citizen in Taiwan wants to own anything Chinese. Because as far as I know, the entire nation is so set on being its own identity. So I don't even think the people there would buy Chinese anyways. But
I also don't see India allowing this because India really hates China right now as well.
And yet, how many of their phones are made in China and are often designed by Chinese engineers?
Yeah, that's okay. India might allow it, but I don't think South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan are not allowing.
Along with the U.S.
There's no way any of these countries are going to be allowing this, but that'll mean that there will be more regional divides too. But wait a second. Hold up. If Lenovo starts doing this might be enough to get them sanctioned in the United States. Because part of the reason why Lenovo hasn't been sanctioned yet is because they mostly just integrate third-party parts that don't come from China. But if they do this, then maybe Lenovo will have to exit the United States market.
Ooh. That's a solid point.
Which, of course, is going to be a massive shakeup in the laptop space. And desktop space, too.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't understand why Lenovo is so popular. I really don't.
They're just, it's because they carry the iconic ThinkPad brand from IBM, but I mean, they're just, Lenovo's alright, but they're just another desktop. They're just another Windows PC manufacturer.
That tends to suffer from the same problems as of Dell and HP.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's just another one of those companies to me, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what's so special about them. I mean, some people tell me that they make really nice keyboards on their laptops.
Lenovo, in case you forgot, back in 7th grade when I was reading Little House in the Big Woods.
Yeah, I know, you had it a Lenovo.
I was suffering through... Oh, wait a second. Back in 6th grade, I suffered through this Chromebook. Actually, I didn't suffer. It was actually a pretty great Chromebook for my use cases. But then I had to suffer through... Where is it? Come on. Show yourself. I had to suffer through this bad boy. Oh my gosh, his laptop is heavy.
Yeah, it looks heavy.
And Lenovo's keyboards, they're okay. I mean, I like the shortcut keys on them, but
I mean, I work with a Lenovo laptop fairly frequently. because it's what's powering our laser. But and okay, granted, the laptop itself was like $200, so it's nothing special. But one of my coworkers has a higher end Lenovo ThinkPad, and I don't know. They just feel like people have told me that an excellent thing about them is they have great keyboards. The problem is I have my Dell XPS, which also has a great keyboard, and obviously the MacBooks have great keyboards too.
Your MacBooks have really great, with the exception of the butterfly keyboard.
Yes.
Macs have really great keyboards.
Yeah, with the exception of the butterfly keyboard.
And obviously they're all mechanical keyboards might not be the best, but I mean, Apple's generally done. I would say all of Apple's keyboards from the unibody era. For the unibody era, keyboards are excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the one thing that's aged really well with the unibody MacBooks. And then Retina era, MacBook Pro, like that era, their keyboards are pretty good. And then after the butterfly keyboard era, they're except for the big function row keys. I do not like.
Yeah,
those,
I don't like those
everything
either.
Else is fun.
Yeah, speaking of keyboard, should I mention that I've got a new one coming, and I think I got an absolute steal on it?
Tell me.
$106 for a blue Magic Keyboard with Touch ID and numeric keypad. And I believe it has USB-C. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think it has USB-C. Bought it off of Amazon refurbished.
During the Rampapocalypse? That's incredible.
So yeah,
I think we need to have a celebration with. Hang on, let me go get the proper celebration tools. How do we? Come on.
I thought it was something like the peace sign or something.
Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Yep, we got the balloons. Well, let me turn them off.
Yep.
Remember back when you used to trigger those balloons accidentally?
I lost your audio.
Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you. Which one? Which menu is it? Hold on. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Hello? Oh. Where the heck is my mouse? What the heck? Everything's freaking out. What's going on here? Okay, there's my mouse.
It's because of those Canadian wildfires.
Ah, there we go. It turns out it wasn't you. It was my Bluetooth turning itself off and on again.
Nah, that would do.
You do sound
How would it
quieter,
turn
though.
itself?
Why do you sound quieter?
How it turn itself off?
Try saying something again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just Bluetooth wigging out.
Well, that's quite a steal, but shall we move on to meta? Because we have two meta topics.
All right. What does the Mark Zuckerberg company fail at this time?
So Meta's new Muse image model can pull all Instagram users into AI photos, or it can use all their posts to make AI photos. And the feature was on by default, but users can opt out. But Meta canceled it due to public outrage. Yes. Meta canceled something AI related and privacy invasions. They canceled it.
I mean, it was a dumb idea to begin with.
Exactly.
It was a dumb and scummy idea to begin with. So thankfully, yeah, that's canceled.
Exactly, but shall we move on to Meta Optics?
Okay, what's this?
So Meta Optics has a tiny Pico projector up for pre-order, with shipments coming in the fourth quarter of 2026, and they plan to put a projector lens in a phone next.
Has Facebook not learned from their last phone?
They're gonna lease it out to another phone manufacturer. I think they're gonna go to another phone manufacturer or something. But I mean, another Facebook phone.
Wasn't there another phone that tried something projector related? What wasn't it?
There's lots of them have.
Yeah, didn't
Lots of them have
Samsung try something like this before? And
also, you can buy projector phones right now.
why would anybody do that? Just seriously, why would anybody buy a projector phone?
I mean, it's handy if you project a lot of stuff, but the problem is that that's only good for casual use, and for casual use, you could just buy a real projector, because, I mean, at the same... Like, if you're seriously going to be projecting a lot of stuff, you're probably going to have, like, a professional-grade projector, so you won't need your phone for that. And if you're going to be projecting stuff casually, then... I mean, it could be handy, but at the same time, you could just buy a real projector.
I just stick with the TV and, like, image casting.
I mean, what if you're outside, though? Like, what if you want to have, like, a campfire outside with a movie going?
There's no way the phone's going to be bright enough to do that anyways.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, that's true. I mean, these are all valid points, though. But I mean, I personally wouldn't use it, though, and I don't know how many people would, but,
Yeah, also, showcasing a movie outside, I don't know. The acoustics of the outside would kind of interfere with the acoustics of the movie itself. So, but maybe that's just me being snobby about it. I don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes people do like to show movies casually outside, but I do get that point.
Yeah, I'd say just stick with the tablet. Or if you're outside, I don't know, maybe you put the stupid screen away and enjoy the outdoors.
That too. So,
So, yeah, I mean, I thought we had learned last time around that the projector built in the phone thing was a bit of a gimmick that never really got used all that much. But then again, somehow we still haven't learned from artificial intelligence, so...
Shall we move on to some things that you might be able to consider as a gimmick?
Alright, what's this?
So 2 developers made Sony headphones able to work as a head tracker that could track head movement.
And why would I want this?
I mean, the 2 developers managed to get work for like some games that way can move alongside your head, but I don't see any practical use case for that.
Yeah, and...
Because think if the cursor on your computer moved based off of all the movements you made with your head.
I mean, that'd be good for accessibility purposes. But then I also have to point this out. Somebody's already made something that can do this. In fact, I own that thing that can do this.
That's too true.
Because, in case anyone forgot, remember when this was announced at some WWDC, I don't remember which one, but there was a point where Apple stated that they've added a feature where it can detect if you shake your head yes or no, and they can use this for, say, somebody is calling you. Do you want to answer it? You can shake your head yes or no. And funny enough, I actually use it.
I never used that, but again, I have an Apple Watch, so I just find... And I also don't get that many calls, so...
My hands are often full, so that's why I use it.
Yeah, okay, I guess I get that point, but Sean, move on to our next bad topic.
Oh, yeah, I added this one. that this isn't just a bad topic. This to me is just evil. And I mean evil. So, the Georgia utility, Georgia Power, is displacing people out of their homes by force. I should clarify, not by physical force, but by legal force.
I figure just as much.
To run power lines for AI data centers.
How big could AI data center power lines possibly be?
Enough where they need, what was the number they said they needed to expand it by? 35 megawatts? Was it megawatts or gigawatts?
That's more than the time. That's more power than a time machine takes, according to Back to the Future. Have you ever seen that movie?
I thought their unit was gigawatts, but I might be mistaken.
Gigawatts, yes. 1.86 or 1.8 gigawatts.
Yeah. No idea how much a gigawatt is, but
I think, isn't a gigawatt another way to say gigawatt?
No, well, do you ever hear people say gigabytes or gigabits?
No, but of course those terms didn't exist back when the movie was made. I mean, they did, but they were not commonly used.
So, no, it technically isn't, because actually that's a part of the metric system. It's a metric unit.
Okay, I suppose that's true, but so
like
okay.
Imagine if this whole thing infuriates me, because I mean, imagine this: you work hard to buy a house, and these days, especially for people like us, owning your own home is practically a pipe dream at this point. The only way I can financially make sense out of owning a home is if I buy the cheapest plot of land I can find and build the structure myself. That is the only financially feasible way I can see anyone in my generation being able to afford a home. Because that's how terrible the housing market has gotten.
Well, especially where you live, it's even worse than most places.
True.
In the U.S.
True, and that's because this area is such a tourist
where
attraction.
you are is like where your area is. It's like Canada levels of bad.
Yeah, it's bad in terms of housing.
Canada's for different reasons.
But it's not like it's that much better where you live either.
No, it's not. Actually, it is. Like, it's not. Like, I'm not saying housing prices where I am are reasonable, but they're not. And it's not reasonable. Like, houses on average average houses go for like half of what they go for where you are.
Well, given that, I think the average home around here goes for like
almost $1 million.
Close to it, yeah. And $500,000 is still not really that reasonable.
No, it's. I'm not saying it's reasonable, but it's a lot. But I mean, it's half. So, but still.
And to be clear, we do have homes that cost that much. The problem is they are in desperate need of renovation.
I figured.
So, yeah, imagine you work hard to finally own your own house. Because these days, it's really difficult. Only to have it ripped away from you, and there's nothing you can do.
Is Georgia Utility, like, is that a state-owned, is that like a government business?
Well, it's a utility, so it has some influence from the government, I would think. But no, yeah, the power utility is turning to, I wish I remember the name of the law, but it effectively...
Eminent domain?
Yeah, that's what it is. They're trying to use that to steal these homes from...
That means they're government owned?
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No, it's not. If this is me, which again, it might be me because I live in the southeast. You all don't know which state I live, but
Yeah.
if this is me, but if Georgia Utility kicked me out, then I'd be furious because no one can afford a. I mean, I'm not saying no one can afford a house, but I mean, a lot of people can't afford houses that easily, and it's not. And of course, a big problem is that I think a big. This is why Canada has a big housing crisis, and this is why I think it's starting to trickle down the U.S. a little bit. But investment banks are buying up homes like crazy, to the point where people can only afford to rent, which should be outlawed. But that's aside the point. But now with these AI data center thing, it's just no one's gonna have houses.
Yeah, because I mean, I'd give them, well, how do I put this? When building out our interstate highway system, there was controversy around it, particularly within the cities, and it is still sometimes a bit of a problem even to this day.
Oh, yeah. But think about the benefits we get from interstates.
It allows us to travel from place to place quicker. And even though, yes, you are being displaced from your home, most of the time you're offered compensation and can get moved into a new place. And ultimately you can still benefit from the highway. But who's benefiting from the data center? Because it's not you.
And also, can't easily do they at least get? Yes, they do give proper compensation.
No, I'd argue no, they don't. Here's what I am hearing.
So you're saying they're violating the Constitution?
I'd argue yes. So there's two different ways this is a problem. So Georgia Power is either buying up the full property or at least a portion of it. The problem is, and this is what a lot of Georgians are really raging about, is they are not getting proper compensation from it. Oftentimes, if Georgia Power buys up only a section of your land and just say, we don't want to completely remove you out of your house, we just want to be able to put a telephone wire, a power line in your backyard. That's all we want to do. Well, the problem is, who wants to live in a house with a power line in the backyard? And because of that dramatically hurts the value of the property. People might initially think it doesn't hurt the value that much. Oh, you'd be surprised.
No, it makes sense. Makes perfect sense to me why it would hurt the value.
Yeah. So, and the money that Georgia Power is offering in compensation of, yes, it's going to hurt the property's value, it doesn't match. The homeowner is still at a massive loss, and there's nothing they can do about it. And in the cases where Georgia Power wants the entire property, for whatever reason, they're still not offering fair market value.
This is probably gonna get fast tracked to the Supreme Court real fast.
I would hope, because to me, this is illegal.
This will definitely go to at least Georgia Supreme Court, and I have a feeling it might.
Well, this is why they're trying to claim eminent domain. To force people, they're trying to use the legal system to force these people out of their homes.
The problem is that eminent domain requires that you give fair compensation. So if if lawyers can prove that's unfair compensation, then boom, Georgia Power would be in massive trouble.
And so far, their argument for that, though, is, oh, but we're going to bring all of this electricity to this data center, and this is going to benefit everyone. They are so drunk on this. And I have a feeling, I genuinely have a feeling that Georgia's state government has massive corruption for even allowing the idea for this to happen.
Every government's been bought out for this in the United States, at least, and The time to argue, the time to fight this was 2 years ago, not now.
Well, now's better than never. I mean, I don't know if Georgia's on the same government recycling election thing that my state of Michigan is on, but now's a good time to cast your votes carefully for who you want to be the governor of Georgia, because the fact that this is going on, this is insanely disturbing.
Well, not only governor, but all the government positions, even especially local politicians, like that even matters more, to be honest.
Yeah. So when those midterms come up, I don't know if Georgia is on the same schedule as Michigan, because I know not every state has their governor's reelection at the same time. But Georgians, it's time to do your research on a different governor, because oh my gosh, that is just disturbing on so many levels.
Well, most states offer recall elections as well. So even if Georgia's not due, they could hold a recall election if enough people get mad enough.
I have to ask, because you seem to be more knowledgeable on the Southeast. Do you know Georgia's level of economic success in the United States?
Georgia's actually really economically successful because right now every billionaire, every person with a net worth of over $1 billion has left California at this point. So most of them have moved to Texas and Florida, but some have moved to Georgia as well. And Atlanta's, of course, Atlanta still has a lot of wealth. So Georgia actually is doing Georgia is actually doing okay, like decently economically. They also have a big industry of the peaches and agriculture.
True. Yeah.
And that's where Georgia Pacific is based. Which, wait a second. These AI data centers are going to hurt Georgia Pacific's ability to make paper products. Oh
dear.
And Georgia Pacific is probably one of the key economic. I don't know if it's the key economic player in Georgia, because of course Georgia has a big agriculture business and timber. I think they have a pretty good amount of timber as well. But Georgia Pacific, I know, is kind of big up there. So, but of course, wait a second, agriculture. AI data centers will harm agriculture too.
Very true.
So,
because it's going to suck all those hundreds of trillions of gallons of water, and it's going to pollute that. It's not. And I thought the smoke was bad enough.
So you're not going to be able to. So you're not going to be able to learn how to swim and learn who you are in the Chattahoochee anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, this is gonna.
Yeah, honestly, if I were a Georgia resident right now, I would be absolutely furious.
Well, actually, Georgia might have a I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia would eventually start a push to privatize Georgia Power because of this, or else to convince people to leave Georgia, or else to convince people to go off the grid. I mean, I know going off the grid wouldn't help with this, but there might be a push now to get Georgia Power privatized, because I know in Tennessee, because that's where they have the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, that designs all sorts of dams for the control of water, which is how come we have a lot of lakes like Old Hickory Lake. But that TVA was established by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in the 1930s to basically give government jobs away. But I digress, I'm all over the place. But there is now a push to privatize the TVA because of their using eminent domain. There was specifically one case where they were going to buy up this old lady's farm to put a big battery plant there.
Oof.
So there was one guy who even called Donald Trump because he was friends with him to explain to TVA people what was going on to stop that. But there is now a push in Tennessee to privatize the TVA, and so I would not be surprised if Georgia tries the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Georgia Power is private or not. I just know that this is what they're doing.
If they're using eminent domain, it's public. Like, it's... They couldn't use eminent domain if they're private.
Okay. So, then, yeah. Nonetheless, this is just absolutely disturbing. And my heart goes out to the people being affected by this. This is not fair. This is not right. I would normally display this to the people who deserve it the most, but I don't know how much Teddy wants to censor this video today, so...
Yeah, I don't feel like censoring if I don't have to, so...
But Georgia Power, you know what you're supposed to be getting from me.
Yes, a middle finger.
Oh, yes. So, nonetheless, that important topic out of the way.
Shall we move on to the hard drive cartel lawsuits?
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about these.
So, did you watch Gamers Nexus video about this?
I did. I don't remember how much of it I retained, but as far...
So, it's a...
It seems like the cartel is a cartel over this one part that goes into a hard drive, at least from what I can tell.
Yes. So, there are hard drive cartel lawsuits in Japan, the United States, and even Brazil. Yes, Brazil is suing over a cartel.
Wow.
But, for suspension assembly manufacturers, TDK and NHK, and this has been going on. This has been developing since basically the turn of the millennium, like since 2003. But
yeah,
the reason why this is coming up, and Japan already had their lawsuits about years ago. The reason why it's coming up now is because buyers of hard drives or computers containing them from 2003 until 2016 may be eligible for all Mac payout in many states in the United States, depending on how this lawsuit goes, depending on which state is enrolled in the program. So, I know Alpha probably won't be eligible for this, but I know his parents probably will. And I know my mom is, if this turns out to
my grandpa is probably going to have a field day with this. Because keep in mind, my grandpa is a computer hardware enthusiast, and he's built multiple servers with plenty of hard drives.
From the time period?
Over the years, yes. He's always been the computer guy in the family. Until I came along.
Yeah, my mom, because she bought lots of laptops from 2003 until 2016, and she also bought a couple, 2 or 3, I think 2 for my aunt, or gave 2 of them to my aunt, and I think she might have even been responsible for buying some of my dad's computers. So, my grandma's probably going to be eligible for... My mom also bought one of my grandmother's computers too, which is this Acer desktop. And back when my grandfather was still alive, he bought them a Dell computer desktop as well. So obviously we're not eligible for this because we were too young to buy computers back in 2016. But and
I didn't buy my first one until the end of 2019.
Our parents are probably gonna have field days.
Yeah,
with this,
especially my grandpa, because he literally built computers and servers as a hobby.
Now, granted, there might be a limit to how many computers you can claim, depending.
I mean, kind of like what happened with the Siri lawsuit.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, I did not get a payout of over $1,000 like I could have.
Yeah, neither did I, because due to they wanted me to sign with my legal name, and my legal name technically isn't on the Apple account, so
well,
they got me that way.
Mine isn't either, but I was also under 18 at that point, so that's probably what got me. But
yeah, I think for you it was the age thing.
Because camp probably isn't hard to figure out what our legal name is, but shall we run to China again now?
What did China do this time?
So China is mandating buttons to be in cars again for turn signals, hazards, horn, PR&D gear shifter, driver assist function if present, windshield wipers, windshield defroster, power defroster, emergency call system, and power off switch for EVs. Like physical buttons.
Oh dear. Tesla's going to have to do something they've never done before.
Add more buttons to at least Chinese car.
Not just that. I mean, like, something that they've never done before. Teslas, with the exception of the Roadster was something different. That was based off of a different car. The Model S, Model X, Model 3, Model Y, and Cybertruck, and I should add Model YL, because I guess they have to make that distinction. None of those cars in their history have ever had a start-stop button.
Do you just automatically go off when you step out?
The way it works is you get in the car, it detects either your key or your phone, and you put your foot on the brake, and that's what signals the car to wake up and you're ready to drive.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
And how does it go off?
You just exit the vehicle.
Oh, so, oh my gosh. Now maybe they'll have to get Tesla thinking about how they're going to redesign, and so maybe this will force Tesla to innovate, and just maybe they might crack open the S and X again.
Well,
probably not. But...
yeah, they're not going to do that. But they're definitely going to have to do this with the 3 and the Y and the YL. Because it turns out, yes, the YL is an entirely separate vehicle from the Y. It is actually a different chassis. Even if it looks the same as the Y. But that'll just be weird. A Tesla with a start-stop button. And yeah, you're going to have that experience when you get your Tesla. You're just going to get in, put your foot on the brake, and it's ready to go.
That's going to be awesome, but yeah, that'll be an interesting change. But shall I move on to Lucid?
Oh, I missed this one. What's this? Lucid delivered...
So Lucid...
Okay, yeah, you're going to have to...
They delivered
explain this.
They delivered a cease and desist order to an EV news outlet, EV Carba.
Okay, I missed this. You're going to have to explain what's going on here.
Oh, good, because I don't know exactly.
Oh, really?
I figured you would know.
I haven't even heard this. No, I haven't heard this. This is news to me.
Let's go to Twitter.
All right, yeah. Oh, shoot, my iPad's still over there.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. No, I haven't heard this. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I need my iPad.
So it was a report that falsely claimed that the company was they delivered a cease and desist order regarding reporting that falsely claimed the company was considered bankruptcy or take private transaction, and those claims have been publicly and unequivocally denied, including an SEC filing.
Huh.
So it's basically saying that they're not going to be filing Chapter 11 so far.
I mean, they keep getting funded by the Saudis. And honest, if Lucid were to have gone under, they would have gone under years ago. The problem is...
They would have gone down under years.
The problem is the Saudis, for whatever reason, and I don't understand why, but for whatever reason, the Saudis, they just keep bailing them out.
Just like how the U.S. government bailed Chrysler out, and how they have bailed GM out a few too many times.
In fairness, those companies, well, Chrysler might be questionable, but at least GM, they make great products at least.
Yeah, they do make decent products. But the problem is just that they probably didn't need. I mean, to be fair, the problem was created by, in a way, especially the problem was created by labor unions, but
Yeah. But I mean,
that was a key source of it.
But I mean, the corporate board, they have no control over that. Once a union is established, the board pretty much doesn't really have any control at all. Because it's either the union workforce or there is no workforce. And they can't afford to have no workforce.
Yeah, so that's the pro. But shall we move on to our next topic now?
Yeah, that's still interesting what Lucid's doing. So, we're in rumor territory now. So
Apple is only testing CMXT RAM for Chinese iPhones currently. They're lobbying the US government to allow global use of CMXT RAM.
Wow.
I'm not sure how well this is gonna go because I know Apple was able to get by with the tariffs with that big trophy that they gave Donald Trump, but
yeah.
I don't know if Donald Trump is going to budge on this one.
I don't know either.
I don't.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I don't see the U.S. government allowing Apple to use.
We know why Apple has to do this.
RAM.
We can't exactly blame Apple for doing this. It's not like they put themselves in this position.
I mean, I'm not saying they helped it, but they definitely weren't the main player in this. But they. And I can. The EU would probably let Apple get away with using CMXT RAM.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Canada probably would, but the U.S. government, I don't see the U.S. government allowing this, seeing how they've treated Chinese companies of late, and you could argue that with the trophy they gave Trump. To be fair, at least Apple did start expanding into the United States, like they are still slowly building up manufacturing in the U.S.
I mean, we just brought up that they're trying to build something in Fort Collins.
So they are actively trying to work on U.S. manufacturing, but I don't see. But actually, using CMXT RAM will directly contradict that. And of course, it's a big security concern as well. So, I don't...
It's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for them to win this one.
Yeah, I don't see Apple winning this one. And I honestly don't want Apple to win this one, because it's not like Chinese RAM is going to be that much cheaper anyway.
That is true.
And you also have to remember, this is a temporary situation. This is still a bubble at the end of the day. And I don't think we exactly want to be stuck with the consequences of Chinese RAM for years to come.
There's truth in that, but at the same time, despite that, yes, this is a temporary situation. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean you don't have to deal with it.
No, it doesn't mean that you don't have to deal with it, but it just means that you also need to look further down the road and think, okay, do we really want the Chinese gaining a more permanent foothold in this market? But
I mean, I'd start it off because this is new. This would just be me. If I were negotiating contracts, I'd say, let's try doing this for a year. See what happens. Because we know it's going to take more than a year for this whole thing to blow over.
Yeah, I would say maybe. And again, Apple may be able to do this in the Apple could probably get away with that and see. Apple will probably be able to get away with that in China and definitely the EU, but I don't know. Other markets don't.
Yeah. It's going to be a struggle for this thing to actually go through.
And here, wait a second. Let's say Apple decides to go ahead and go through with all markets that allow it. Knowing Canada's relations with China, Canada probably will allow CMXT RAM, so of course Apple's probably gonna put CMXT RAM in Canadian iPhone and Apple products. But the United States is obviously never going to allow it, so that's going to be an interesting, and so that would mean that Apple might have to possibly make massive changes to American iPhones versus Canadian iPhones. And also, you'd have the argument of like, what if Canadians travel to the United States, which we all know they do. Like, are you going to allow? Like, are you going to allow or really people from any country? Like, are you going to allow these iPhones into the United States? I mean, granted, you would think they would, because I mean, you can like if you bought like even from formerly Apple Maniac YT, now Apple Insight. He bought a Xiaomi phone in China when he went there, and he was able to bring it back to the United States.
I mean,
without any problems.
Someone who I don't discuss that often anymore, had a parent that had a Chinese phone.
What was it?
Some Vivo smartphone. I have no idea the model. I just remember the brand.
It was that guy. That guy's parent.
Yep. So, yeah, I've seen Chinese phones here in the States before.
TCL. I think is a little bit. I've seen a few of them in the U.S., but not many.
So, yeah, I don't think the traveling and all that is going to be a problem in terms of getting those phones in the country. I really don't think it is.
Because
I mean, when you think about it too, somehow we'll allow cars that are designed for other countries. We'll allow them to come in under like some people are crazy enough to ship their car overseas to go on vacation overseas.
I mean, yeah, that would be. Now, I don't. Now, yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I don't think this will. I don't think the United States is going to fully ban like people from other countries bringing back phones from other markets of Chinese RAM. I could definitely see the U.S. government prohibiting the registration of Chinese EVs and definitely prohibiting
100%
Chinese EVs to come into. I could definitely see them doing that, but I don't think they could. Would you? Because this is not Turkey. We do not have to register phones here.
Yeah.
Whereas in Turkey, if you want to use, of course, I've talked about this before, but in Turkey, if you want to use phones with cell service, you have to register them like you do cars.
As stupid as that is, Turkey has a lot of weird laws. Then again, they're a bunch of turkeys.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
Their word for turkey is probably, and Turkish word for the actual animal turkey is probably not the same, so.
Well, here in the English United States, turkey has two definitions. There's the bird that we eat on Thanksgiving, and then there's the other one. Bunch of silly people.
The nation. We're actually, Alpha, just a tip. If you do wind up going bald, like your family history suggests, a lot of people will actually go. A lot of men that suffer that condition will actually go to Turkey to get hair transplants because they're cheaper than in a lot of Western countries and it's still just as good. So, just a tip if you go bald and want to get a hair transplant.
No, thank you. I already don't trust doctors.
Okay, suit yourself when you go bald.
I think that's what wigs are for. But let's not discuss this any further, please. What's next?
All right, so the HomePod 3 is releasing later this September, apparently.
And I forgot.
Do we really need another one?
Yeah, I was going to ask that, but I also forgot I wanted to finish off the other topic with something else. I don't think iPhones are going to sell very well this coming year. Because when you think about it...
I don't think so either.
The 17 line was a super cycle.
Yes.
Well, The 16 regular was a super cycle for the regular people, and the 17 Pros was a super cycle for the nerds. So why you'd get the 18 when everybody knows it's going to be more expensive and everyone probably had just recently upgraded their phones? I don't know. I think next year's going to be rough for iPhone sales.
Especially because everybody knows this is a bubble too. Like, this is a temporary situation.
Yeah.
And if everyone knows it's a temporary situation, then why are they going to buy Apple products?
So
I'm not buying an iPhone this upcoming year.
neither am I. Granted, it wasn't because I was planning to earlier, but
Same.
yeah, I have no
was
reason to
planning on buying
upgrade, and this is not helping me justify one. So, HomePod Mini 3 though. Oh no, HomePod 3, not HomePod Mini.
I don't even think there's a second. There's not even a second generation HomePod Mini.
I thought there was, but I could be mistaken.
Nope.
It wasn't the color thing?
They refreshed the colors technically, but that's it. But
yeah, I have no idea why anyone. It is ever rare you see a full size HomePod to begin with.
oh, same. I don't think I've ever. I think the only time I've ever seen a full size HomePod is in stores.
I can't even say that much. I've seen them in Apple stores and Best Buys.
Like Apple stores and Best Buys, those kind of stores.
Yeah. But even then, come to think of it too. This doesn't reach up high enough, darn it. Well, good thing my camera's plugged in. Darn it! Okay. Guess I can't show it, but I honestly don't know anyone else with a HomePod Mini.
I don't know anyone in real life with a HomePod Mini.
Yeah, I've never seen one just sitting on a table in someone else's house. I've only seen my own. And that's it. I've only seen my HomePod Mini. So it's not like these smart speakers are that common to begin with.
Exactly, because I think Amazon Google oversaturated already got into that market and basically claimed themselves kings of it before Apple even got in.
Yeah. And granted,
Apple,
though, Apple does have one thing going for them that so far the rest don't really have, and it's sound quality in comparative size.
But sound quality is But the problem was that sound quality, of course, that's kind of a So Greg from Apple explained back in 2019, he made a video explaining why the HomePod was failing.
Yeah.
And he explained that, I'm sure you've heard the iPod Hi-Fi that Apple made. Mm-hmm. So he equated it to comparing the iPod Hi-Fi to iHome's equivalent, similar to how Apple's HomePod similar to how the iPod Hi-Fi focused on sound quality rather than feature set, even though the iHome had like an ability for an alarm clock and everything. The iPod Hi-Fi didn't even have any of that, and so Greg explained how Amazon and Google focused heavily on the voice assistants, which is how you interacted with it, but Apple only focused on sound quality, and of course, the majority of people are not audiophiles.
Yeah.
Audiophiles are exceptional, so the majority of people aren't gonna mind the sound quality out of an Echo or a Google Home speaker.
Yeah, I understand. I am one of the few exceptions where I am more speaker first, voice assistant second. Because, I mean, honestly, when I use my HomePod Mini, I'm not really using Siri on it that often. In fact, I find myself, most of the time when I use my HomePod Mini, I'm actually AirPlaying either from my Mac or my iPhone.
I totally get that, because most Echoes don't even let you do... Amazon Echoes don't even let you do that anymore. They used to, but they disable it, although nowadays Amazon's turning the Echoes shows into basically ad show.
It works if you use Amazon Music on your phone.
Of course, that's not what the majority of people use.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I understand why the market, yes, they wanted a proper voice assistant over sound quality because... This is back
when Google Assistant was actually good.
Yes.
Before it got ruined by Gemini.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I understand why people cared about having a great voice assistant for their smart speaker, because that was the whole reason they were getting a smart speaker in the first place. And yeah, I see how Apple doesn't look all that competitive in terms of it being an actual smart speaker. I mean, it's a good speaker, but the smart functionality is just lacking.
Which I'm fine with that personally, but the majority
of people same here too.
Aren't.
I love the sound of my HomePod Mini. I really do.
If I had one, I would love its sound quality too. And I actually did tell my mom may be a little bit interested in a HomePod Mini now.
It's a nice speaker. I mean, it's really nice for if I had my own house, and I don't, but if I had my own house, here's where I would keep HomePod Minis. I'd want to keep one in the kitchen, so that way I can set timers and all of that, but also play some nice music while I'm preparing food. It's literally the perfect environment for a smart speaker. I'd want one in the office, unless I actually have a fairly solid set of studio monitors. I don't right now, but actually no. Well, I mean, smart speakers really are best in kitchens. That's a common theme I found, because the number one time where you're going to use the smart functionality is for timers, and stuff like that.
And also, that's the most likely scenario in the house that you're going to have your hands too dirty to touch a screen.
Exactly, because
and even if you're
not going to find this in a living room, because if you care about sound in a living room, your TV can already. You can just load up music on your TV and use your home theater's sound system, if you have such a thing. Otherwise, you got the TV speakers too. And if most people think that a normal smart speaker like a Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa the Echo speakers, if everyone thinks the sound quality on that is fine, then the sound quality on your TV is fine for you too. But no, for me, where the smart speakers make the most sense is the kitchen. Because you're not going to do it in your living room, because you already got a speaker on your TV, or if you care about sound, you got a nice home theater sound setup. Your office, you've got your computer, and most of the time, desk speakers, they're not that expensive, and you can get pretty good desk speakers and just have that powered by your laptop or your desktop. But the number one time where you want a speaker in a room, the thing is, the kitchen doesn't really have a dedicated screen that's always there. Because the screens that are in there are either the displays on your microwave and oven, which is mostly just clocks. Unless you buy one of those Samsung fridges or LG fridges with the displays on them, but everybody knows that's a gimmick. And not everybody keeps their phone in the kitchen all the time. Sometimes they leave it in the living room or the office or something. It's not like they have it everywhere they go. So, the number one place where, no, there's not a dedicated media player just always sitting there. A smart speaker is just perfect for that environment.
Exactly, because it really is a great environment. Because even if you're cooking, like if you're busy baking or cooking something, you don't, in order to maintain proper sanitary moves, you don't want to touch you have to be sanitary. You have to not touch stuff that you touch before you wash your hands. So therefore, even touching a smartwatch would be unsanitary. And my mom actually, believe it or not, back in 2020, actually no, she did 2019 I think too. We used to actually have my old Echo Spot in the kitchen, and my mom would sometimes use it to watch TV on it.
On that tiny display.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And I mean, some people do have. I mean,
I've seen the Echo shows in kitchens before, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think a screen belongs in a kitchen.
Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, I want to utilize the counter space personally, but I'm not that big of a cook though, so.
I really wanted to get into it more, if I'm being honest. Like, I really wanted to. Fun fact: I wanted to take up on baking. And it sounds like you do a lot more baking than I do.
Oh yes, I do. I do bake stuff. It's just all sweet treats.
Yeah, that's something I've wanted to do. It's just a combination of time and it's not my kitchen, and the owner of that kitchen is incredibly picky about making sure that place stays immaculate.
Oh yeah, I get that, but
So, I wish I had my own house, but at the same time, the stupid market and economy is not making it any easier. But I think we butchered the smart speaker topic to death. What's next?
Sean, so Apple is apparently making a smart home sensor that is possibly releasing this October that can have paired to your smart home ecosystem, so that way you can have like be a motion sensor to trigger functions, like when the motion, like it could be a motion sensor that like detects, oh, when person walks by, turn lights on or something like that.
On the topic of smart homes, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm kind of realizing that I don't think I necessarily want to make it like as smart as a lot of people want to make their smart homes. 'Cause
Same.
I'm thinking in terms of the lighting situation. Something that I like about the lights I have in my room, yes, I do have smart lights in my room. I like the functionality that I can turn the brightness all the way to 0, and at a certain time, I can get it to increase its brightness over time to act like a rising sun to help me wake up. That's kind of one of my tricks to waking up in the morning. But realistically, I don't really think I need any like motion sensor type things. The only thing that I really appreciate with smart bulbs is dimmability and color temperature.
Well, I can. This is just a regular remote on my fan, and I don't know why my parents put this in, or if it was even the previous owner, but
Did not realize that was a smart bulb.
It's not.
Oh, is it just actuating a normal dimmer switch?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, this has been in my room since like 2010 at least.
Well, you've never showcased it.
No, so I think I've showcased in my videos before, but right here, so these are the functions of it. So there's the light. The center button is for controlling the brightness of the light, because there's no dimmer switch on my actual light switch over there.
Yeah.
And you can also just turn it off, so where even if the light switch comes on, that light will still stay off. But then you have speeds of the fan. So there's off, low, medium, and high.
Yep.
Medium and high for controlling these various speeds of the fan. But I can't. This has been in my room since like as long as I remember.
Yeah. Yep.
And right here, if you take it apart, this is a CVS battery inside. Which let me see if there's any
Oh, it's a 9-volt battery.
manufacturer date. dates on it.
Surprised it uses a 9-volt instead of like AA's or AAA's.
I had to zoom in. The text is really hard to read on this, so I had to zoom in. Try my flashlight. It says 0406. Wait a second. This battery might have been manufactured in 2006. Oh my gosh. 2007.
Huh.
Yeah, this is quite an old. And here you can see the insides of it, but this is quite an old system.
Yeah.
This is made in China, so I know it's got to be from the 2000s
Yeah.
if it was made in China.
Yeah, that's a cool item.
Yeah, it is. It's a Harbor Breeze brand control, but yeah, that's.
Yeah, the big thing that I'm trying to get at though is how much of this stuff do I really need to have access with the phone with?
I honestly agree with you on there because I mean, there's some stuff I'd be lying if I said I access most of the stuff with my phone with anyway. Since if I'm in the kitchen, I'm gonna be right there, so I'm gonna have access to all the appliances anyway, so I can just use the buttons on there to turn stuff on. If I'm going into a room, I can just use the light flick the light switches in there to turn it on. It's not hard.
Because
Not
the
rocket
only
science.
here's the only applications in which I think having the phone connection functionality that is nice. Oh come on! Do not lose the train of thought. Do not lose that train of thought.
Did it leave the station?
It did. Dang it. I was gonna say. I think having the ability to open the garage via the phone is a nice thing.
Oh, I agree totally with that.
So yeah, that and smart locks I'm a little iffy on because that means your locks can be accessible to the internet and that means they can be hacked. So I'm a little iffy on that situation. But having at least the ability to open the garage with the phone I think is nice because you don't have to have this... most of the time, it's just a physical keypad you leave on the outside, and if people are smart enough, they can dust for your fingerprints and look up the key pattern on your thing and open up the garage door that way anyways. So, it's not like there's a massive security benefit to that. But having the phone for that, and then... here's the big one. Don't cars
oftentimes have garage door opener buttons built into them?
Not all of them. My mom's Buick, for example, does not have that functionality.
That's all. I thought cars have had that for like 20 years now.
Yeah, not all of them. In fact, a lot of Teslas don't have them either.
Good to know.
So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. You think Tesla, the smart car, would have that functionality, but turns out nope. But, so, well, even...
That's another thing they could get working on.
Yeah. So, but the big thing that I finally just remembered, climate control. The thing that I would really appreciate is when I'm coming home from vacation in the winter. I don't want to have the heat going all the time because energy up here is expensive. Be it gas, propane, kerosene. Electricity, energy up here is expensive, period. It doesn't matter what form it comes in. It's just expensive. So that means if I'm gone, I don't want to expend it all trying to keep the house warm. I'd rather just shut off my climate, aside from keeping anything I do to keep the pipes warm. I don't want the pipes to freeze. Yeah, I'd want to shut the climate off. But when I come home, I want to be able to leave my vacation destination, turn on the climate system, so that way by the time I get back home, the house is warmed up.
I get that benefit.
So, yeah, that one in particular is something that I want to have accessible via the phone. But everything else... I think I'd rather just keep it a light switch on the wall. Because it's not like light switches don't have dimmer things or color temperature changers.
Exactly, because I mean, my house the light switches in my house don't have that, but my house is ancient.
Yeah.
My house was built in 1902 or 1908, one of those years. It's an ancient house, so of course all of its light fixtures aren't going to be the most up to date.
Yeah, I think this house is in 80s. I think it was built in the 80s. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, I just then there's the other question that I have
a fireplace in my room.
Then there's the question that I have to ask too. Do all of our smart appliances really need to have an internet connection?
No. Maybe not.
Because I'm thinking like say security cameras. Honestly, I don't think they need to be connected to the internet. I don't need to be able to view them when I'm away from home. And then lights as well. Why do I really need to have them connected to the internet?
No. Security cameras, I can maybe get why you want to like maybe get alerts on them if you're away from home. Like, hey, somebody's at the door. Maybe I can see that, but lights I can't see. And honestly, I wouldn't try. And honestly, I don't think I would try to get. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have security cameras that are internet connected unless they're. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do connected security cameras either.
Because I mean, well, if you're not home and the break-in is happening, well, what are you supposed to do? You're not home. And you got to be careful when calling the police when you're not home, because last I checked, when you dial 911, it calls the nearest call center, which you might not necessarily be at your home's nearest call center. So it's kind of hard to send the right police officer to go check out what's going on if you're away from home.
I mean, I suppose 911 could dial. You'd have to specify 911 to dial the correct one.
So, but I don't know. Security cameras, I don't see a point to connecting them to the internet, especially when that's an easy way for people to start stalking you.
Oh, yes. I'm sure we all remember that Amazon Ring Cam incident.
Yeah.
That Mr. Who's the Boss covered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was bad. And it's just, I don't need that. I mean, I like the idea of having security cameras. I do. It's just, I don't think they need to be accessible to the internet.
I get that point.
And why do I need to do the same for my lights? Can't I just have like a control box that's not hooked up to the internet that does the same thing?
Maybe, but y'all go ahead and move on to our next topic because we still have 7 more topics left to go in less than half an hour.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So what's next?
The iPad Mini 8 is rumored to be water resistant.
Surprised they didn't think of that earlier.
No iPad's never been water resistant before, so I mean that's. Wait a second, I think we covered this before.
No, I've never heard this before.
I think we might have covered this before, but yeah, water resistance. That'll be handy for in case you spill drinks, or in case you're like my 3-year-old self and decide to and have a bath ready and decided to splash your iPad in the tub with you.
Yep. So
that's what I actually did when I was 3.
I figured. So.
And my mom put that iPad in rice because back then it was thought that was good for water damaged devices.
Yeah.
And the iPad survived.
Oh wow.
until November 2013 when its motherboard died completely. Now I put it in, I think, in 2011.
So, yeah, I guess it's nice that the iPads are finally getting water resistance. I'm surprised they didn't think of it sooner. But
yeah, that is nice to see. But shall we move on to the next Mac Studio rumors?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Do I want to know the price of how much this thing would cost, given the situation?
The next Mac Studio is possibly going to have a 768 gigabyte RAM configuration. This is literally designed for people that like to run AI models on the Mac Studio.
How much is this thing going to cost?
Shall I move on to the next topic?
No, I want before we move on, I really want to do a price guess. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to be the crazy person and say $50,000.
I could see that.
I think that will cost $50,000.
Moving on, the late 2026 MacBook Pro redesign is apparently going to retain M5 chips due to the high prices of making chips. This is going to be a bit interesting to see how this will go down, because this is getting a price hike, but it's still going to have the same M5 chip if this rumor's true, which I don't think enough people care about the redesign if it's still got the same chip to warrant buying them far more expensive redesign variant. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm still curious to know what that design is going to be, but at the same time, I'm not liking the new design's feature set from what I'm hearing. For one, they keep rumoring touchscreen.
Which, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. A touchscreen definitely makes a laptop worth more.
I don't know about Face ID. I haven't heard anything about Face ID actually coming. And
Touch Bar's not coming back.
Yeah, Touch Bar's not coming back. I don't know. I don't know how to be excited about the redesign. I'm actually struggling.
I mean, I'm glad that will be thinner, so that's one thing I can be glad about, because the MacBook Pro did get a little bit too thick with this with the last redesign, 2021.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So I mean, that's really the only thing I care about with this redesign, because they're apparently not going to, and possibly make. No, they're not rumored to make it all USB-C.
Well, given they had all USB-C, and then bunch of idiot reviewers got mad about that because they didn't understand the point of USB-C. I don't know. I can't find a thing to be excited about with the redesigned MacBook Pro. I'm grasping at straws here.
Shall I move on to the M7 Ultra now?
Oh. Okay, if the Mac Studio is going to be worth $50,000, what's this worth? $100,000?
So, depends on how much the AI bubble bursts by 2029. But the M7 Ultra in 2029 may support 1.5 terabytes of RAM. The cost of this will depend on what state of the AI bubble we're in in 2029.
Well, the problem is that the memory chip suppliers, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, they've got contracts locked up past 2030.
Of course, there's lawsuits trying to stop this, but we'll have to wait and see how these lawsuits go through. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how much this costs.
Yeah.
All I know is that it's going to be expensive. I mean, it would be expensive anyway without the Rampocalypse, but
I mean, the Mac Pro that was spec'd with 1.5 terabytes of RAM was near $50,000. So it's not like they haven't explored that territory before.
Yeah, it would make sense. So, and now that Mac Pro is gone, it would make sense they're trying to spec it out more with the more to be have lots of RAM, especially because the AI. You know, they love AI loves RAM. But shall we move on to our next topic?
Let's see. Meta is testing super sensing. Oh gosh. Super sensing BS glasses that can record every moment without LED to let others know if glasses are recording.
So, for reference, you know how Meta glasses currently have the LED to supposedly let others know around you that you're recording? These glasses won't have that. So,
well, of course, Meta's a bunch of stalkers. They're a bunch of public
this
stalkers.
This is going to go down. This is not going to go well. And Meta's sad part is that Meta's probably going through this. But so we all know Meta's evil. So shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, from Meta to Microslop.
Microsoft tested Copilot OS 2 years ago, which was entirely based on Microsoft Edge. Basically, there was some footage of that leaked from 2 years ago that was basically a rival to Chrome OS, but Edge and AI based.
I think they'd be struggling for a market because what is the first thing everybody does when they set up a brand new Windows computer?
They uninstall Edge, or they install a different browser.
The first thing they do, and it never fails, is they open up Microsoft Edge and download Google Chrome. That's the first thing everybody does. Oh, I wish I could uninstall Edge. Windows doesn't allow you to uninstall Edge, so you'd have to be very hacky to find a way to uninstall Edge. But no, there's a reason why Edge is not all that popular of a browser.
Yeah, it's just it's just Chromium based, so it's not even Microsoft's. But shall I move on to Xbox now?
Yep. This is the last one.
So Xbox's upcoming Project Helix is apparently going to have a disk drive after PlayStation announced the removal of theirs.
Here's my question. Is it going to be a Blu-ray disk drive? Because the PS5, believe it or not, actually had a built-in Blu-ray player.
I don't know, but no wait, I know the Xbox One in 2013 had a Blu-ray disc drive. So but again, I personally think that they should move on from the disc format and like possibly go to USB sticks for games or SD cards, something more modern. But
I don't know, because there's not that. In terms of USB sticks that are cost effective, a lot of them are still based on USB 2.
That's true.
And I don't want to, given the size of a lot of games, the only one that I have to reference is just Rocket League, but they're not necessarily small file sizes.
No, that's a good point.
So, I mean, granted, I don't know the read speed of a Blu-ray disc compared to USB 2, but I don't think I'd want to install a game using USB 2 standards, because that's what a lot of flash drives are still based on these days.
They would have to expand it to USB 3 or USB 4 even. So they would have to do that first if they did USB, but
then the cost effectiveness goes down.
Yeah, so it would have to cost more in order to do that, but yeah, that's a good. But I mean, on the flip side, USB sticks don't degrade quite as much as optical media.
True.
Because optical media will eventually degrade.
Yep.
So, in other news, we're out of topics. We got through 31.
31 topics. Goodness gracious.
We're still not even done yet.
It is getting so hot in here, but I can't open my window.
At least you're not wearing a jacket. I'm not wearing a shirt underneath, though.
Yeah.
Because, I have to be shirtless for this episode.
Yep.
Have to ignore this thing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still sad about the Model S and X going away.
Same. I didn't particularly want to wear this jacket, but it's better than being totally shirtless for an episode, though.
Yep. And I still have my pants on.
This is technically not a shirt, so...
Yep, it's technically
Still
not
counts.
a shirt. So... I really don't know what else to talk about, because I am just... Oh, yesterday was so hectic.
What went on yesterday?
We almost needed a fire extinguisher. On multiple occasions.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what a common material that's used in fireworks?
Gunpowder.
Magnesium.
Oh, right! That same one that you're getting sued over.
Yeah. Yeah, it finally became problematic.
Did you get to manufacture that big middle finger for the garbage?
I wish we did. No, we didn't. We wanted to so bad.
Was it just not cost effective enough?
We just didn't have time. But yeah, then there was the money factor too. It was just...
I mean, metal prices are going up now because the AI companies like a lot of that music that's very loud. Get it? Metal prices are still going up because AI companies need it.
Yep, they need it to build their data centers and their circuit boards and memory stuff, and it's just... No, yeah, we're still dealing with that problem, and okay, we don't even have to pay for the magnesium. It is literally handed to us by the customer. So we don't have to pay for that.
That's valid.
But yeah, we finally started having some fire problems. And the thing with magnesium, and the reason why it's used in fireworks, is it burns bright. It burns really bright. And hot. So, yeah, yesterday was incredibly hectic.
Of course, there's still smoke going on in your area too, so...
Yeah, that's not helping either. Honestly, based off
the magnesium...
I got a phone call last night, and judging by what happened with the phone call, I was so worried we had just lost another machine. It got that bad.
Was it from your boss? Oh.
It's still running. It's still, well, aside from the one problem that we've known about for a while, it is still fully operational. But, yeah, we had a really good scare. So, I'm tired. I really am. And I miss oxygen. Oxygen would be really nice right about now. I'm curious. What's the?
What are you talking about? Oxygen is a key part in creating smoke. There's plenty of oxygen out there.
It feels like it's been used up. So let's see. What does it say? We're still over 500, so we're still off the charts. Oh, we're gonna be this way all night. I wish I had money. I just want to get the heck out of here.
Well, you could start an AI data center firm.
Oh, screw
Then you'll get
that.
lots of investors You'll get lots of investors giving you money so you can go buy a house.
Yeah, once the bubble bursts, that's when the money will get ripped away from me because of scamming people.
True.
And then I'm back to square one. No, look
should
at
turn
the air quality index on the radar thing.
Okay, I'll do that. Let me go. Air quality. It's like basically at 0 where I am. Oh, and then it's.
Yeah, you're at 35.
Ah!
You're at 35, which is okay. And then, yeah, when you look at where I'm at...
Oh, yeah. More of the United States is getting badly affected by this in Canada.
Yeah.
Canada, especially London, Ontario. London, Ontario is bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, London's got a lot of problems. Toronto. Yeah, Toronto's gonna get hit hard, too.
Montreal's still got perfectly good air quality, and so does Ottawa.
Yeah, I'm not...
Oh, Thunder Bay is horrible.
Thunder Bay? Oh, yeah.
That's in Western Ontario.
Yep, that's a little northwest of me.
Alright, that's not that far from you in terms of mileage. It's just that you gotta...
Get across a big lake.
Yeah, so realistically, that would be a bit of a drive for you if you drove there.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to go all the way through to UP, Wisconsin, Minnesota. If you took a boat there, it would be pretty fast.
Dude, this is going to take a whole month to get rid of.
Of course, those Canadian pine trees need to combust in order to reproduce.
I'd say at that point, do those trees need to exist?
It's like how you could argue the same for the wasps, or the mosquitoes that bring malaria, the biggest killer of humanity.
I can't wait for the final week of July, and even then, it's basically ruined by the smoke. I need a break. I need a break. Yeah, for reference, I'm taking the final week of July off.
Maybe you should go down somewhere further south, like I don't know. Maybe you could take a vacation down south.
I'm almost kind of wanting to, because, I mean, the plan was to go to Petoskey. That was the plan. And it still is the plan, to my knowledge. But, no, with this smoke there, it's just... I mean, keep in mind, if you look at Petoskey area, too, it's just as bad as here. It's no different.
Yeah, maybe you should consider going further south for vacation, like at least south of the Ohio River.
Yeah, this is annoying. This is really annoying. I'm getting really tired of my summer being ruined by these fires.
I get that.
So,
but we're about out of time.
Yep, and I am roasting hot. I need to get downstairs and eating some ice cream stat. So,
oh, right, you don't have air conditioning at your house because you're a weirdo.
Right, I'm the weird American that's not obsessed with air conditioning.
Imagine me without air conditioning.
Yeah, for you it makes sense. It makes sense for you, but
for you it makes sense too.
Not really. It only gets hot like 3 days out of the year.
Yes, and for those 3 days you would love air conditioning. Oh my gosh, you need.
For those 3 days, I would appreciate proper air movement, not air conditioning. Because that's this house's main problem right now. It's not moving air.
Yeah, I suppose it's a problem. But as always, thank you all for tuning into another episode of iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Mac from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
As always, we're saying peace out for now, and we hope to see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
See us!